Councilman Franklin, you good? Councilman Goodwin, you good? Are you good? Councilman Miller, you good?
Yes, sir.
Councilman Lightfoot? Legal?
Yeah.
Yep. Mr. Fuller?
Wherever Jeff is, he's good.
Phillips, you good? Aaron, you good? Good. Well, I'm good. You're ready. The time is 7 p.m. and I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Red Oak City Council to order. Let it be known that we have a quorum present with all council members except for Mayor Pro Tem Smith in attendance. Legal is here. Both city managers and secretary are ready to conduct this meeting, and notice has been duly posted in accordance to Texas Government Code Section 551. If you would, please stand and join me as I lead the pledges and the invocation. Heavenly Father, bless this meeting, bless this city, bless our first responders. Give us comfort and wisdom to be able to lead this meeting for the betterment of our citizens. Please be with those that were in the path of the hurricane that hit the Texas coast and as it's meandering its way up northeast. A lot of lives have been affected, and just make sure that each person that was affected feels your comfort, and give them safety and hope that there is a tomorrow and that you have them in your hands. In your name I pray, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
First of all, I want to say thank you to citizens that are here in person and online, and those representing the agenda items that are before us. Now's the time for proclamations, and this is kind of a fun month to be able to make some proclamations. So I'm going to step down front, and Mr. Kelly, if you'll come join me. So I'm starting my 7th year as mayor, and we had a parks department, but it has stepped up from this level to this level. And I think a lot of that's through your leadership. So say thank you as a city. So July 19th coming up, it's Park and Recreation Professional Day. And, it takes the insight and the leadership of you and your department to be able to continue to make our parks better and better each year. We are excited and thrilled how things are progressing. We just completed a wonderful tournament out here on our ball field. We had nothing to do other than supply the field, but whenever football season comes around, to look and see how the football field right up here at the end of the street at the stoplight looks, and the soccer fields, a lot of work goes in. They make it safe for our citizens to come and walk, play, and be physically fit, having little apparatuses so they can do things. So we just are thankful for what you do. So thank you very much. And this is also July is Park and Recreation month. And it's actually relaxing. It helps with mental health, mental status, physical status. Being able to let kids run around and play again in that type of environment. And the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. And we also are recognizing that. So on this day, the 8th day of July, we want all citizens to enjoy and help keep our parks looking nice and continue to utilize them. So. So now's the time for citizens' comments. We do have one that has been turned in. Anybody else care to speak to any issue, whether it be on our agenda or not? If you haven't turned that in, and just came in, need to do that, then see Ms. Karen and get it turned in the next 45 seconds. But we do have one, and that's excuse me if I butcher it, Ruth Yoakum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you would come up, state your address, and what you want to speak about. And we'll limit your actions to 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, my name is Ruth Yoakum. I live at 105 Mojave Way. And if you're not familiar with that, that is the group right across the street of 55 and older citizens. We have about 60 homes in our community. We have noticed that the city has an empty lot adjacent to our property that I believe a water tower once stood there and has now been cleared out. We would be interested in purchasing that lot and developing it into our first priority would be a swimming pool for our immediate community of 55 and older. If the city did not see fit in that being there, we have talked about alternatives about making it into a dog park for us or just a recreational area or just maybe even putting a little clubhouse there. We don't have anything for our residents to go to meet, to have coffee, put together puzzles and so forth. So our first question is the city willing to sell that lot to us? And if so, would it be affordable to our HOA? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So we can't really comment since it's not on the agenda, but we can have someone from staff reach out to you and investigate some type of something, whether it's for sale or not. I don't know.
Thank you.
You handle that?
We actually have it on executive session.
Oh, okay. That's what you were pointing at. Okay, cool. Great. So thank you very much. Was there anybody else that wished to speak that did not get an opportunity to turn in paperwork? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Yoakum. All right, so now is the opportunity for what we call consent agenda. Consent agenda items are items that are considered routine in nature, can be acted upon by one motion or any council member or executive staff can ask that an item be pulled for more discussion. These are items that are typically we've been briefed on before, something that's recurring like cybersecurity or whatever. Council, is there any item that you would like further discussion on or further information? Do you have enough to be able to make a determination? Would you like anything pulled?
No items.
I'm good.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to
pass to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Okay, so I think that was Lightfoot and second was Franklin.
Yes, sir.
All right. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Edwin, I.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0. Item 6. Conduct a public hearing and consider adoption of resolution number 24-055R, the City Council, City of Red Oak, Texas, approving the land use assumptions and water, wastewater, and roadway capital improvements plan, providing a severability clause and providing an effective date. Mr. Benford.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we have only the land use assumptions and the capital improvements plan for the impact fee study that was completed by Kimley Horn and Associates. I wanted to give a brief overview of it. So this was completed mid to late last year by Kimley Horn, and it's gone through it through staff, Public Works, engineering, city management as well. Components of it were the service areas, the land use assumptions, and the capital improvement plans. For the service areas, those are based on funds collected within a service area. They must be spent on projects within the same service area in 10 years. So it's not a 30-year impact fee plan. It's limited to 10 years in scope. For water and wastewater, it's generally within our current CCN. For roadway, there's a stipulation that has to be a 6-mile trip length limit. Because of that, we actually had to split the city into 2 service areas for roadway specifically. And also roadway has another stipulation that has to be current city limits. It can't be anything in the ETJ. So the service areas were limited to the city limits at the time of the survey being completed. This is the roadway service area. You can see highlighted in the orange west of Pratt Road. I'm sorry. Yeah, Pratt. Okay. West of Pratt Road is service area 1. East of Pratt Road is service area 2. And again, we had to split that because of the 6-lane mile buffer. For water, it's generally our CCN along with any proposed projects that we had in the future that could involve serving other areas. And for wastewater, again, the same, generally our CCN along with any proposed projects that are put forth by city management or community development. With the land use assumptions, we established infrastructure demands used in master plans. We went off the initial 2010 comprehensive plan as well as the 2022 comprehensive plan update. And then we coordinated with the future land use plan and then residential and non-residential growth projections. The 10-year residential growth projection is approximately for roadway service areas, 5,715 dwelling units in the next 10 years. For water, 1,108 dwelling units. And for wastewater service area, 3,716. And those are so different because of our service areas. We don't have the whole city limits for water, and then wastewater is limited to where we can get it to. For non-residential, we have about 16 million square feet of roadway service areas, 1,486 water service areas, acres, and then for wastewater, 1,767 acres. For the capital improvement plans, we split it up into 2 service areas and not impact fee eligible costs, but total project costs of just over $342 million in identified roadway projects. For water, we have 13 proposed projects totaling up to just over $56 million. And for wastewater, 9 proposed projects, about $87 million. This map shows the roadway service areas in pink, service area 1, blue, service area 2. And then next to each street segment that was identified, you can see a number, and that'll correspond to that project in your packet. For water, again, these are the identified projects. It's not all of the projects that the city has planned. It's only the ones that are associated specifically to impact fees that are recoverable because the development would actually have an impact on the existing system. And same thing for wastewater. It's not all the wastewater projects we have in the pipeline, only those that can be assessed via impact fees. Any questions?
I'd also point out too that we've had the water and sewer impact fees for a number of years, so that's just an update on those. But on the streets, improvements, impact fees, those are new. So we had to do the full study on that, but the update on the water and wastewater.
And then it might be something that we hear about next week. On the impact fees for the strips.
It could be, might be, yeah. But for tonight, it's just approving the land use assumptions and those things. We'll have to come back in August.
The August regular meeting.
To
Yeah.
discuss the actual fees, that are recommended by P and Z and staff. And again, for folks out there that don't know, these would be for new development. So these are not fees that are assessed to people who already live or own developed property in the city. These would be for new developments, new building permits coming into the city and how they would impact you all as existing customers.
Also, any questions?
Yeah, so are there multiple sets of assumptions or is this only looking at the 10-year growth
It's only looking at the 10-year growth
for
based on
population and
each.
for,
Mhm.
for residential and non-residential basically, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then limit that to each service area.
Okay. And then the fee recommendations are based on that growth divided by what your capital improvement requests? Is that how the fee it's?
The opposite of
recommendation-
that.
Oh, the opposite, the inverse of that?
Cost divided by your land use.
Got it.
assumptions.
I said it the wrong way, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
You got me. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Franklin?
No questions.
Down here.
And just clarify, just today, we're just approving or verifying we agree with these assumptions, right?
Mhm.
And then we'll talk about the cost at the next required meeting.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Entertain, oh, this is public hearing, so.
No, we have to have.
Yeah, we're gonna open the public hearing. So we'll open the public hearing at, yeah, 7:17. Was there anybody, any citizens that wish to speak on this? So. Yep, entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:18.
There's your time. There's your moment.
Okay. Councilman Miller.
Second.
Lightfoot. Those in favor.
Way
of
to go.
closing.
Franklin, aye.
Goodwin, aye.
But
Closes at 7:18. Okay, now, council, any other questions that you need on this? Answered. Entertain motion to adopt resolution 24-055R. So moved. Councilman Miller.
Second.
Councilman Lightfoot. Those in favor.
Franklin, aye.
Goodwin, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0. Item 7, consider adoption of resolution 24-056R, the city council, city of Ellis County, Texas, setting a date for the public hearing to discuss and consider the proposed impact fees and providing an effective date.
And again, this would be where you actually establish the fees. Well, you hold the hearing, obviously, but this would be to establish those fees that were generated through P and Z and staff based on the assumptions that you just approved.
And this is just setting the date for that meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it a date for a hearing or is it a date for both? Okay.
This is different than what next, the
Yeah, this will be for the August regular. meeting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. It's the 12th of regular. meeting.
Okay. Okay, entertain motion, so that's the way the resolution is read.
So moved.
Okay, so, Councilman Lightfoot,
Second.
Councilman Franklin. That establishes the August meeting, and that's resolution number 24-056R. Those in favor?
Franklin, aye.
Goodwin, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0. Item 8, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 24-024, the city of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance and map of the city of Red Oak, Texas, as heretofore amended by granting a change in zoning from agricultural district AG to single family residential district 2 R2 located on lot 26, block B of the Bomar Acres Addition, city of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, which is said property being more particularly depicted and provided in the survey as Exhibit A, which is attached here to and incorporated herein, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense, and providing an effective date. Case ZC 24-10 requested by Ronaldo Parado and Juana, what is it? Help me. Juana Sanchez. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is for a zoning change from ag to R2 to build a single family home. This is 35 Novilla Road. Here's the property that's in question. The comp plan supports this as well as city staff. Just a survey is needed for the zoning change. You have any questions?
Yeah, didn't we do one of these on that same street not that long ago?
Probably a year ago.
About a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay, and we approved that then.
Yes,
correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're just
And
long
they-
and narrow. It came into the city as ag and
Yeah.
it hadn't had zoning on it, but it shows on the comp plan to be residential. So this zoning is compatible with current zoning, in our comp plan.
And it's a vacant lot surrounded by other single family homes. Is that what it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a public hearing, so we'll open the public hearing at 7:22. Was there anyone that wished to speak on this matter?
There were some submissions. Do those go in, do they need to be read in, or
They need to be offered in. If,
is now the appropriate time, or do we do that?
yes,
after the-
you could ask our, staff person if there was any written opposition or written support for the agenda items, and then we can include it in public hearing comments.
Yes, there were two in opposition and one for.
And then, Madam Secretary, if you would enter those as, comments during the public hearing. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Entertain a motion at 7:23 to close this.
So move. Second.
Goodwin. And Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Goodwin, aye. Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0 to close. Any other questions that need to be answered for this?
I do have, I guess I'm curious to know, the two that were in opposition, did they give any reasoning or?
They just didn't want the entire area to be zoned, and that's what they were confused on. They thought it was zoning that entire area instead of just that single lot.
Okay.
I mean, if it matters, I mean, the comment says, I don't want this to affect my property.
Right.
And then the other one just says against, it doesn't have any details, so.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 24-024.
So move.
Franklin,
Second.
Goodwin? Yep. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Goodwin, aye. Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0. Item 9, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 24-025, city of Red Oak, Texas, amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance and map of the city of Red Oak, Texas, as hereto amended by granting a change in zoning from commercial C1 to plan development 174, PD 174, to allow for commercial C1 uses and a reduction in parking, landscape, and setback requirements on the properties located on the northeast corner of Bluebird Lane and Hawk Avenue and identified as proposed lot 1RA Block E, Red Oak Estates, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, as depicted in Exhibit A, which is attached here to and incorporated herein, providing a site plan, landscape plan, elevation plans, which are attached here to and incorporated herein as Exhibits B through D respectively, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing savings clause, providing a penalty of fine not to exceed the sum of $2,000 for each offense and providing an effective date. This is case ZC 24-11 requested by Lisa Lytle. Yes, sir.
The property address is 551 Bluebird, is located west of 342 and east of 35. The property has been a daycare for the last 30 years, but lost its non-conforming right because it was closed for more than 90 days prior to the new ownership. The current zoning C1 allows for daycare use, but the site cannot meet the C1 requirements for setbacks, landscaping, parking. That's why we're doing a PD. The property will be replatted to help with parking, as well as dumpster enclosure will be added. The property does have landscaping, but it's in the right of way, so it can't be counted. And their solution is to add shrubbery along the front of the building between parking and the building in this area. And then the dumpster will be upgraded to CMU, and we'll have a metal door.
Found that whole L piece.
And then also the parking spaces are only 9.5 feet wide, and we require 10 feet. So we're going to put that in the PD as well. And then also right here, there will be directional one-way signage to help with flow of traffic on the side. The comp plan supports this and staff as well. You have any questions?
I have none.
Yes.
What's the minimum parking space requirement?
I believe it's
Excuse me, space size, excuse me.
9 or 10 feet
10 feet by
on angled 10 feet by 20.
10 by 20.
Yes, sir. On angle parking.
Okay.
Is there any comments in P and Z?
Nope.
On this?
I wasn't at PNC, but I don't think there was.
They were good, but.
Yep.
I don't know if we had any write-in comments. Didn't see anything in this one.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So that's a public hearing opening at 7:28. Anyone wish to speak on this? Entertain a motion to close at 7:29.
So moved.
That's Lightfoot and Miller. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Good one, I.
Miller, aye.
Aye.
That closes at 7:29. Council, is there any other questions that you need on this?
I have a couple of questions. It's an existing daycare?
Yes, sir. It was for the past 30 years.
Okay, and do they have any plans to extend the building or?
No, sir. They just are going to replat that property so they can have more parking.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
I think there's like playground over there.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 24-025.
So move.
Goodwin,
Second,
Franklin, those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Goodwin, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot,
That passes 4-0. Item 10, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 24-026, City Council, City of Red Oak, Texas, providing a voluntary annexation of territory generally described as being 11.3 acres of land, more or less, out of the Benjamin E. Fraser Survey, abstract 371 in the city of Red Oak, ETJ, Ellis County, Texas, as described in Exhibit A and attached here to and incorporated herein for all purposes into the city of Red Oak, Texas, and extending the boundaries of the limits of the city so as to include said property within the city limits, and granting to all inhabitants and owners of said property all the rights and privileges of other citizens, and binding all inhabitants by all ordinances, acts, resolutions, and regulations of said city, providing for a service plan, providing it attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit B, providing the severability clause and providing an effective date.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, this item is, as you know, we voluntarily annex property from time to time at the request of the property owner. This particular property is related to your next agenda item for B&B Powerhouse. In order to do the reinvestment zone number 13, we need to add this little tract of land to property that they have under contract and are purchasing. So it just adds that. By doing so, we don't have to go to the county. Otherwise, if it's in the ETJ, then we have to have the county approve the reinvestment zone and the economic development agreement. They've agreed to bring it into the city, so the whole property is within the city. And so we would ask for your approval to allow this voluntary annexation, and then we will consider including that property in reinvestment zone 13, which is your next agenda item.
So can we do the public hearings the same?
No, I don't think so because of the annexation.
Okay.
I gotta get it in the city
In the-
officially,
Okay.
and do this in order. So normally we do add those things together, but this one we really cannot do.
So open this public hearing. Okay, this public hearing is at 7:32. Is there anybody who wishes to speak about this item?
Mayor and council, I don't believe there's anyone signed up, and both the property owner and the subsequent purchaser of the property, which is your next agenda item, would ask your favor to grant this annexation, and they have agreed to the service plan, which is attached, and they will execute that as well.
Entertain a motion at 7:33 to close this public hearing.
So moved.
And that is Miller
second.
and Lightfoot. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Goodwin, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0. Entertain a motion. Any questions?
No question.
Are we taking on any extra obligations by bringing this? And I know we're saving ourselves probably more than any obligations would cost us by doing it this way.
Yeah, since this is proposed data center, there's very little city services that would be required to this property owner, although they would be entitled to fire, police, water, sewer, as the rest of our citizens are,
And just like the rest of the property that this is attached to already is, right?
already is. So it shouldn't be any more of a burden to the city. This is a pretty good consideration to annex property with such low service demands.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Mr. Mayor, in the future, could we have an address on these things?
There is no address on this.
Well, can you give me an approximation like?
This
north-
is,
City of
this,
342.
this is the southeast corner of 342 and Old Villa Road.
Just south
That
of
would
Walton.
be nice to know, and I could go look at it if I want to go look at it, that's what I'm saying. If the city councilmen sometimes go out and take a look at these properties, whether they're within the city or out of the city, a general area where they're located would be nice on these.
It's at the end of Allen Drive.
Benjamin E. That's not on that.
Allen, yeah, it's right there, Allen Drive.
I mean, when this thing comes out, the agenda, so we want to go take a look at a piece
Yeah, I
of
mean,
property.
that's what came out.
Okay, but I didn't see it in here.
Oh, it's not on the agenda, it's in the package.
So just south of Walton, you're the Exxon at 342. And
Yeah.
Ovillo Road.
Yeah.
So a little bit southeast of that. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 24-0226.
So moved.
Lightfoot. Second. Miller. Those in favor.
Franklin, I.
Good one, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0. Second half of this is item 11. Conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 2024-027, City of Red Oak, Texas, designating a reinvestment zone, number 13, the zone, providing eligibility of the zone for commercial industrial tax abatement. Consider findings that the area qualifies to be in the designated as a reinvestment zone, and the improvements sought are feasible and practicable and of benefit to the land and the city, providing a severability clause, providing a repealing clause, and providing an effective date. More?
Pulling it up on the
Okay.
screen. There you go.
There you go.
So this would be the entire area that would be going into the reinvestment zone. This would be the first step before you can do tax abatement incentives for proposed power plant there. We have to do the reinvestment zone, which has to come after the annexation. So that is the step that we're at this point. So we just need the reinvestment zone, and then the tax abatement itself would come back separately.
So this is a public hearing, and we will open the public hearing at 7:37. Was there anybody here to speak on that? And I assume these. Okay.
Mayor and council, this is, as Todd indicated, just kind of a continuation, the property that we just added to the zone. It's required under Texas law to even consider a tax abatement, that we have to declare a reinvestment zone, which this ordinance does. The property is not in an enterprise zone, which requires the city to designate it as a reinvestment zone before it could even consider a tax abatement.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion at 7:38 to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Franklin? Goodwin?
Yep.
Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Good one, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That closes at 4-0 at 7:38. Council, is there any questions that you have on this?
No question.
None here.
Not hearing
This
any,
is-
then
This isn't approving any tax abatements or any incentives. This is simply designating in an area that is eligible for those discussions, correct?
good, sir.
Yes.
Okay, entertain that motion to approve ordinance number 24-027.
So moved.
And
Second.
that sounded like Franklin and Miller.
Miller and Franklin.
Miller and Franklin.
Okay, Miller and Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Good one, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That passes 4-0.
Only because I heard Franklin say second.
Oh, okay, all right. Item 12, consider adoption of resolution number 24-057R, the city council, city of Red Oak, Texas, relinquishing and adjusting any and all territorial. Yeah. Jurisdiction described herein pursuant to and accordance with the property owner's request and petitions that such that the city of Red Oak extraterritorial jurisdiction shall be and is hereby adjusted and contracted to relinquish the properties described and depicted in Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein to release said properties and providing an effective date. And this is requested by Robert and Tracy Estrada. Yes, sir.
The property's located west of or east of Pratt Road between East Pratt and Bachelor.
Okay. That's it there.
Yes, sir.
And so, Counselor, are there any questions? We did find out that Chief, we're still obligated because they're in the ESD to provide that, and it doesn't affect their insurance because of their ISO rating of what we have. Okay. Any
Are there any
questions? Counselor?
requirements for us as council? Or is it simply they meet the requirements in the regulation that to ask for it? They've completed the paperwork correctly, and so this is, we're obligated to do this under
Yeah,
state rules, right?
yes, the state legislature at the last legislative session, the law went into effect September 1st, 2023. Provides for the property owner, at their sole request can ask that their property be relinquished from the extraterritorial jurisdiction. And we are obligated to pass the resolution relinquishing if it's properly requested by petition, which this property is. I will say that there has been a lawsuit filed by the city of Grand Prairie challenging constitutionality of that state statute. There's currently no hearing set or a temporary injunction been issued declaring that that state statute's unconstitutional. If it is later ruled to be unconstitutional, it may negatively impact these resolutions if it's shown that ab initio that the law was unconstitutional under Texas Constitution. It would possibly invalidate these. I think you're probably better off at least going and acting that we followed the law as the law was enforced at that time, and then give us some equity to have them declare all these resolutions void, which I would ask you to do if the statute does that and bring them back into our ETJ. And of course, nowadays, it doesn't make much difference because we can no longer annex property without the permission of the property owner. So if the property is sold and someone comes, they would have to request to be in, which they could do. And then we would have to annex them. It just leads to another step. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, Mayor.
I do have a question. Thank you. Great explanation, by the way. Is this something that we could have moved to executive session so I can ask some deeper questions?
If you choose to, yes.
We can.
Okay, I would,
like that as well.
yeah.
Do you
Would I
want
make a motion or what?
do you want to go into executive session now prior to you voting on this
Please,
item?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, can we take this as action out of executive session? I may move it to the end of our agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can just go ahead with the rest of the agenda, go into executive session, come back out and take action.
on these two agenda items.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because both of them are the same.
They're the same. They're
Okay.
exactly the same. They're both petitions by the individual property owners under the same statute.
Okay, so we'll go to 14 right now.
Okay.
Is that?
If the chair would table 12 and 13 to be considered after the executive session, we'll take them up prior to meeting unless there's an objection by the council.
Yeah,
No objection.
we'll do that.
Okay,
What do you say?
and saying in none, they will be postponed until later in the meeting.
I say that?
You just did.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. So item 14, consider approval of appointment and reappointment, resignation or removal of membership on the city of Red Oak boards and commissions as follows. Reappointment of Maria Dowding and Donnie Lutrick as regular members for 2 years for the Parks and Recreation Commission from June 2024 to June 2026. So, do you have anything to say about these people? I guess that's why you're up there.
They're good folks.
Okay.
So I'd love to have them on the board with us. Donnie has been a pretty good member. He's been an alternate and he wants to move into the
Oh.
full-time role. So we called a special meeting, got the board together and they unanimously decided they would like to have him on with them as a full-time voting member.
Good.
So.
Great news.
Motion, we approve this reappointment.
Second.
Those in favor, Lightfoot is first and second was Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Goodwin, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye. Thank you both for
Passes for
continuing to serve on the board.
0, and thank you both. Departmental reports, Chief Plant.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to update y'all. We've had in the month of June, we had a 21.2% increase in call volume, which has been a common occurrence here lately. But also wanted to report that we had a great turnout for our Community Awareness Day on June 15th. We had a lot of citizens and business owners show up. The crews did rope rescue demonstrations, extrication demonstrations, fire station tours. We had our water rescue boat out there. The Firefighters Association cooked over 100 hot dogs and gave those away. And of course, I think everyone's favorite part was when the PHI medical helicopter came and landed. I know I've seen it 1,000 times in my career, but it's still in awe every time one of those comes in and lands. But the citizens got to climb around, look into the medical helicopter. They seemed to enjoy that. We had booths set up from Red Oak PD, Red Oak ISD PD, Allegiance Medical, Medical City ER, Ellis County Emergency Management, and Navarro College. Alexa and her team were there to capture photos and also use their drone to get some video of the crews in action. I just wanted to thank everybody for participating in this, making the event successful. And I don't have anything additional unless y'all have any questions about the monthly report.
Chief, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I attended that event and I thought it was an excellent event. Brought my daughter out there, but also had the opportunity to talk with a few parents who brought their kids out there, and they were excited the fact that you guys brought it back apparently because you hadn't had it in a while. So thank you.
Yes, sir. And we're going to try to continue that annually. We used to do it, and then I don't even really remember the reason. I know COVID, got in the way, but I think even prior to that, I don't remember the reason we stopped. But we had a good turnout, and we hopefully will continue to bring that back annually. Maybe do it a little bit earlier, which is a little cooler because June was a little warm. But so maybe do it in the spring, and then we got to figure out the rain. But I'll make a call to the man upstairs, see if we can get a good day for that day. So I thank you for your coming out and enjoying it.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chief Wolf.
Mayor, Council, just a couple of things. We answered about 4,300 primary calls for service last month. We're still maintaining about a 3-minute and 25-second response time on priority 1 calls, given our current staffing. And we were able to conduct a total of 16 hours, 8 hours of scenario-based training on force options and de-escalation. This month with the PD took place here at the Government Center in some of the vacant space in the gym. Really good training, incorporated K9 and all of our force options that we have. They were able to be incorporated into the scenarios. Each officer got 8 scenarios throughout the course of the day. Feedback we got was that it was really good training, and that's something we're going to continue to do, try to do every quarter. within the department. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions you have about the monthly report.
No question.
Thank you, sir. Beasley. It's a lot.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple highlights from this month's report. We held another successful Red Oak White and Blue on June 29th. So I'd like to thank the other departments that helped make that event possible, as well as Oaks Church. It would not be possible without a collaborative effort between all of these entities. Also wanted to share that we printed and mailed over 15,000 mailers to the 75154 zip code this past month. So hopefully you all got those and you kept them because it does have all of the events coming up through the rest of the year. So that's a new initiative for us that we have done this year, and we're looking to continue that next year as well. And that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Yes, sir. Mr. Jacob.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. We had another good month with building permits, up to 48 new homes built last month, or not built, but issued for permits. Sorry. 7 Brew opened on Friday of last week for a soft opening. B&B is doing good, and construction just keeps booming in Red Oak. You have any questions?
No question.
How many of those were the homes? You know,
Say that
how
again.
many of those permits were homes?
48.
48 out of 56?
No, it's 48 out of 165.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
For being here tonight.
Yes, ma'am. You want to do that? Okay, go ahead.
Mayor and Council, Gloria's out this evening, so I'm going to give you a couple of finance updates. As you're well aware, finance has been working with the departments on the budget for upcoming meetings, and so you'll be hearing a lot more about that very soon. Also, sales tax numbers for May were up 4.29%. So we're continuing to track those revenues. Be happy to answer any other questions.
Good.
No questions.
Thank you. Amanda.
Good evening. Just want to give a quick update on recruitment. We currently have 3 positions posted on our city website, and for the month of June, we hired 3 new employees. We're currently interviewing and going through applicants for our admin assistant in HR, and we hope to make a decision later this week. And then we've been working with city management and finance on preparing for budget meetings, which you'll hear more next week. I'm available for any questions that you may have for my monthly report.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Benford.
Mayor, Council, just a couple of things. We did finally get our internet link upgraded from 250 meg to 1,000 meg. And then we've been catching up on our project backlog finally. Greg and I've been putting in a lot of time getting that done. Got most of our old data server migrated over to the new one. We've got a little bit left on that, and that project's several years old. We did complete the multi-factor authentication, get that rolled out to all the city employees, and we did our annual cybersecurity training for all our employees again this year. Everybody's favorite.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. So I guess ours is coming out soon.
Yeah, we will add you guys. Have one sent out just for y'all.
Okay.
We want to get the employee side done first since it's new this year.
Okay.
For a new program we're doing. We'll send it out for you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, council. As you guys are aware, we're about halfway through our summer reading program. June has been booming, lots of statistics for you. So if you recall from our previous reports, typically attendance at the library from our programs, we usually have 20 to 30 programs a month, and our attendance is usually somewhere around 200 or 300 people. So to give you a perspective of our summer program, in the month of June alone, we offered 52 programs in the library with an attendance of 2,064 people just in the month of June. So to say the least, we are busy, but we are loving seeing all the kids and the families and everybody inside our building and exploring the new space. New library cards every day, so we're thrilled for that. Big thank you and shout out to our police department for coming out to our Blue Heroes program. They talked to the kids about the police, how they protect our community, gave out some police stickers, colored some Mickey, the police officer, which you can lovely find Meeks on our calendar here. And then, of course, they got to show off the police cruisers. The kids love that. Also, a big thank you to our Parks and Recreation team for continuing to support us and partner with us for our summer cinema movies. Those will start up again this Wednesday and continue through the rest of July. Be sure to join us at the end of the month and on Monday, July 29th at 11 a.m. when our wonderful fire department will be out to tell us all about being a firefighter and show off their big rig. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kelly.
Howdy again. How's everybody? So you're about ready to wrap it up, but I've got to follow her, so that's a little tough. I would like to kind of highlight a few things from the report. One is our walking trail lights that have been going on. 2 of our 4 locations for this year are in. And you might be able to see at night, and when we leave here tonight out here at Watkins Park, or if you're driving over by Lake Trail, those lights are absolutely all we could hope for. And those light, and you know, they're running, all the lights that are solar, they're running 30%. You come into the beam on them and they go 100% until you come out of that beam. So you literally can follow somebody as they're walking around at night, and they don't necessarily realize that it's coming on and off because all they're seeing is the fact that they're getting full light. So we would like to continue that in the future as well. We'll have 2 more locations going in by the end of the month, if the weather does cooperate, since this will be a little bit weather sensitive with them having to dig and set poles. Also, along with those lights, we have a couple of projects going on out here at the sports complex that we've been waiting on for quite a while. The weather didn't cooperate this spring. We got through the tournament season, and now we're dealing with the summer heat, so they can work in that summer heat pretty well. So Sportscapes will start this week out. You'll see some heavy equipment out here where they're going to get ready to, they're going to put in our storage building in the back, covered area, picnic area out in front of the concession stand out in the park. And then also they'll be putting in the pole extensions for the field out here with the netting, so that way we can get more distance out of those fields. But I mean, there's a lot going on, but you know, if anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer.
We recently bought some land south of that park. Is there any chance for parking down in that area, using some of that for parking? I was out there this weekend, and my golly, I never seen so many cars in the area. It's really filled.
Yes, it is like that probably every weekend. On that property, we kind of did a layout, just a visuals, kind of a rough layout. And we can get anywhere, if we do it right, we can get up to 244 spaces, which includes the ADA and all the other needed, which would absolutely shift the parking need. We'd still have a little bit of overflow towards the north, but a lot of that would be put back here where it needs to be, closer to the fields. And there is so we're starting to look at that now. We certainly, I know my team's grateful for the property and the opportunity to have that property over there, because there's so much that we can do with that. It's almost limitless right now. You know, we can expand that trail. We can go into other parks. We can go back down to Cherry Creek with it and expand in the future. But the parking, I think, is probably one of our critical needs. And looking at that, I mean, 200 would be the minimum you could get out of that. But if it's laid out more like with an engineer, have them come in and lay that out and set that up right, I think we could get probably up to 244 is what the estimate showed.
Super. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. Appreciate it.
One quick question about the lighting.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible, or is it an ordinance to where if we put in a trail, or a developer put in a trail, that we have adequate lighting on that trail?
So there wouldn't be an ordinance that if we put in a trail, that would just be up to you all to say, let's put lighting on the trail. So most of the developments that we do are planned developments, so they would be individually So if we want to go ahead and add that into all those PDs that are developing trails, we need to note that in the development plan that trails with lighting at intervals.
Okay, yeah, I would,
Great deal would have,
But
it.
it would be everyone would be.
correct.
If it was a bike trail or something like that, it depend on the use what we're
Right.
doing. Yeah, okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I think the IDC will have you a check for that parking, later on.
Mayor
Yes,
and
sir.
council,
Go ahead.
I'm last, so that means we're about to go home.
Yep, you're good.
Couple updates, Methodist Pump Station, we had our preliminary walkthrough, earlier this month, and we're gonna have our final walkthrough, it's actually scheduled for July 16th. So at the end of that, they're literally gonna hand us the keys and, we'll be ready to pump some water. So we're pretty excited about that. That's been a 1.5 year long project so far. And then, we are about to be, we have our substantial walkthrough for our Fox Hollow Force Main project to the end of this month as well. That might be the 1st of August, but right now it's scheduled for the 31st. And then lead and copper, we only have 159 services remaining to identify, and we have 0 identified as the possibility of lead. So we're looking really good there.
Great job.
Yep. So any questions?
Thank you very much. So time is 8:01, and we will go into executive session for pursuant to Texas Government Code, section 551.087, 551.072, items 16 and 17, and what code does?
551071, as noted in page 1 of the agenda on to seek legal advice on agenda items 13, 12, and 13.
And we do expect to take action when we come back out.
On 12 and 13 for sure.
And that is at 8:01.
short stick.
You got duty tonight, do you?
How's your dad doing?
Good. He's good. He's in Corsicana now.
That's why I said the coast is clear. He can return home. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just taking it.
That's all I want. Let Karen have the rest of
Good, thank you.
it.
Greg, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, Mayor and council is.
So the time is 8:39 and we will reconvene back into open session. Yes, Lee.
Okay, Mayor and council, as a result of the executive session, on agenda items. Now, I wanna do these other ones first. 14 and 15, there's no action, to be taken, and council, city council has instructed the,
16, 17.
yes, on 16 and 17, on 17, on value of real property, you instructed the city manager to talk to the adjacent property owners about the city's willingness to sell that property. No action need be taken. As to agenda items 12 and 13, under 551071, seek legal advice. As a result of that executive session, I've changed resolution 24057R and 24058R to reflect, whereas clause of state law requires the city to consider such relinquishment without recourse, and whereas the property owner may seek other approval upon the municipality's denial. Now therefore be it resolved by the city of Red Oak, and then the rest of it would read as possible. So if you would, Mayor, consider resolutions 24057R either together or separately.
I think since they're both of the same nature, I'll entertain the motion to adopt resolution number 24-057R, 24-058R as adjusted per legal.
So moved.
Second.
So first was Lightfoot, second was Miller. Those in favor?
Franklin, no.
No. Goodwin, no.
Miller, no.
Lightfoot, no.
All right. So that passes 0-4 or fails?
No,
0?
it fails 0-4, so the request is denied.
That's right. Everybody good?
That's it.
All right, then the time is 8:41 PM and I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Goodwin. Franklin, those in favor?
Franklin, aye.
Goodwin, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
That is.